Hi again. I thought I'd talk a bit today about my experience with gender dysphoria, how it affects me. So first we'll start with what is gender dysphoria. The DSM defines gender dysphoria in adolescents and adults as a marked incongruence between one's experienced expressed gender and their assigned gender lasting at least 6 months, as manifested by at least two of the following. A marked incongruence between one's experienced expressed gender and primary and or secondary sex characteristics, or in young adolescents, the anticipated secondary sex characteristics. A strong desire to be rid of one's primary and or secondary sex characteristics because of a marked incongruence with one's desire to prevent, or with one's experienced expressed gender, or in young adolescents, a desire to prevent the development of the anticipated secondary sex characteristics. A strong desire for the primary and or secondary sex characteristics of the other gender. A strong desire to be of the other gender or some alternative gender different from one's assigned gender. A strong desire to be treated as the other gender or some alternative gender different from one's assigned gender. A strong conviction that one has the typical feelings and reactions of the other gender or some alternative gender different from one's assigned gender. And essentially, if you have two of these, if you fit two of these criteria and it lasts for longer than 6 months, then you have gender dysphoria. On the bottom here it says, in order to meet criteria for the diagnosis, the condition must also be associated with clinically significant distress or impairment in social, occupational, or other important areas of functioning. So the second part is, does that gender dysphoria affect your life? So for me, like, the gender dysphoria has made it very difficult for me in my life because I can't. It's like a constant distraction. Like I can't stop. So, like, for me, for gender dysphoria, if I had to relate it to something that I could, like, relate it to something, I smoked cigarettes for, like, 20 years-ish. It was kind of like that. So, like, it was like quitting smoking cigarettes almost, except, like, you can't quit it. Like, so, like, when I quit smoking cigarettes, like, I would constantly feel like it's almost like you have, like, you feel like a pull, like there's something pulling you towards the cigarettes, right? Is how I felt. So, but it's always been like that. So it's always been like that, but with like, trying to be a woman. It's like so embarrassing to talk about, but I think it's healthy to talk about it. So I think I want to be like less taboo or whatever. So I want to keep talking about it. Anyways, because and maybe somebody watches us and maybe it helps them. So who knows? Anyways, I've always had like this pull to just go in the other direction that I didn't really have any control over. It would lead me to do some pretty extreme things that would like lead me to hurt myself. Like I would go out of my way to attempt to find ways to stop my body from producing testosterone. So I don't know how much I can safely say on TikTok, but use your imagination. I want to do get the parts of my body that produce testosterone off my body is what I wanted to do, and I tried to do it several times over the course of my life. One of those times ended me up into the mental health unit, which was how I ended up getting set up with a counselor and getting set up with the actual gender treatment that I needed. So, but yeah, that's how gender dysphoria can affect certain people. It's like, what are you gonna do for me? Are you gonna like stick me in a padded room and say, like this person's like trying to like do stuff to their own body parts, like stick them in a padded cell? It's like, or you could just like let them transition and like live their life, like I don't know, like that is, and like let them have a chance at a somewhat normal life. Like I don't know. It's like, what are you gonna do for me? Like if the option is that like I'm gonna try to do that to myself, like, and I'm not gonna have any self control over whether I do it to myself, and like the only thing you're gonna be able to do is to help me do it to myself, then like why don't you just help me do it to myself? Like I don't know. Especially if I'm like if it's like not hurting anybody, I'm way happier. Like people around me are happier because I'm not so fucking miserable. But yeah, for me it is a medical condition. Like unfortunately, I know that like some people, they don't have to like go get medical help or whatever, or whatever. But unfortunately for me, I do have to get medical treatment. The only way that I'm going to get my gender dysphoria is going to get better. So like you can't. The only way that gender dysphoria gets better is like to treat it. So like if a man started growing breasts, right, he'd want to have those removed probably because like he's a man and he doesn't want to have titties. That's gender dysphoria. So it's like that, right? So like if a woman had like a mustache, like a lot of women grow mustaches, and like it might cause you a bit of gender dysphoria. That's gender dysphoria. So imagine that, but it's your whole body. That's how I feel. Okay. Anyways, I hope you all have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.